Welcome to CCTV. This is a program called Last Minutes, and we are going to have a conversation with 5 members of the class of 2021, all members of the digital media production class. They've been learning how to put together TV shows here at CCTV, and we're really looking forward to getting their perspective on what it was like to be a senior in the strangest year in history to be a human being, let alone a high school senior. Our panel includes Abigail Merritt from Cadillac High School, also Skylar Terry from Mesick High School, Alden McCoy from Cadillac High School, and on my left are Dan Hirt from Mesick High School and Kelly Smith from Mesick High School. So now that we are underway, I will start with you, Abby. Talk about your overall high school experience. You've had 4 years to develop an opinion. Lay it on us.
There was definitely times where it was stressful and a lot of other times that it was fun. Every single year in high school, I did musicals and I was involved with clubs each year. But the number of clubs kind of went up until 11th grade with COVID hitting. Because in 9th grade, I just did drama club and a musical. Then I had a little more in 10th grade. And then I think the most clubs was in 11th grade.
Okay.
And I kind of been slacking off with stuff like schoolwork until this year. There was certain stuff that I will confess that I passed with a slip of a hair.
Kelly Smith, what do you think?
Well, my past 4 years overall have been good, but I think when I first started out 9th and 10th grade, it was a little rough, or it wasn't as much fun, but now, like the past couple of years, they're pretty good, they're pretty fun. I'm enjoying the CTC here.
Okay. Skylar Terry.
I've been to 3 different schools for high school. It's been pretty good. 9th and 10th grade, I was probably at my highest GPA, and COVID kind of messed that up for me. But it's still been fun. CTC is probably one of my favorites. This past 2 years have been good. Even though junior year is supposed to be really bad, this place kind of made up for it. Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. Dan.
When I first came here, it was right basically as high school was starting, and I kind of considered it my fresh start, like when you move.
Because you moved to the area, right?
Yeah.
Just before 9th grade or in 9th grade?
It was 8th grade, but I really didn't start getting pretty involved with people until high school. But I'd like to say that I've met a lot of amazing people for moving. I mean, Kelly here, one of my best friends. Skylar over there, one of my best friends. Alden over there, one of my best friends. Abby, you're cool. Sorry, I don't know you too well, but you're cool. And Mr. Spicer is an awesome person. Giving me so much opportunity. And in the last 2 years with the CTC, I'd say it's made high school way more tolerable because 9th and 10th grade were really rough.
So true.
But I'd say that doing what we actually want to do makes everything change, and that's all I got. So.
Alden, what do you have for us?
How much do you want to hear?
How much time do we have? We've only got 30 minutes, so
well,
give us the Reader's Digest version, I guess.
My whole life I've kind of been somewhat of a realist when it came to academics. I knew I wasn't going to be the smartest one of the bunch, so I've been working somewhat consistently since about 2017, and CTC has really helped me keep my head on straight. Ending my school year feels kind of like just, throwing my guitar down, kicking the microphone off and flipping off the crowd and walking away. Because I went from Cadillac High School to Cadillac Innovation High School, and now I'm online, while also working part-time. And I really feel like I'm getting into the free trial version of being an adult. And my 30 days are almost up, if you know what I'm saying. Mm-hmm.
Last minutes, right?
Yeah, yeah. I really like CTC. It's I feel like it's kind of rounded me out as a person, and I've met these wonderful people, even the ones behind the cameras. And I don't really know what else to say. It's just been a crazy, awesome experience, and not to mention with COVID and everything. I didn't want to take my SET so bad I invented a pandemic. I'm responsible, guys. It's me. I'm sorry.
You know, that I kind of wanted to bring that up before because we're kind of dividing this show into past, present, and future. So considering that COVID-19 hopefully is mostly in the past now, largely, but we still have it. How did not being able to go to school or doing school through a screen, how did that affect you, Abby?
There was like certain times, like in my junior year, it didn't really affect me. I was able to like contact teachers easily, and it's basically, my COVID was basically my summer plans. But senior year, when we first got shut down, I kind of blame myself because there was like a day that I was at school while my little brother wasn't, and I caught his symptoms the next day. And then we find out Sunday he was tested positive for COVID, and obviously we lived together, so I got exposed, and I was in honors choir at the time too, so basically the whole honors choir got quarantined, and so did I. During those times, it kind of like drove me down, and like when it got extended, at the start of second trimester, because my school is by trimesters, I just started to get more like stressed out with stuff. Like in December, I couldn't go 1 week, or I could almost go no week without crying. Like there was only 1 week that I went without crying.
You know, it's interesting because mental health has been an issue.
Yeah.
During this, and I've got to ask the rest of the four of you about that question too. But first, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back and we're going to ask the other four on the panel about how COVID-19 affected them. We'll be back with Last Minutes in just a moment on CCTV. Welcome back to Last Minutes on CCTV. We got a little bit of a roundtable going on with some graduating seniors for the class of 2021. And if you just joined us, we're having a conversation about COVID-19 and how it affected these high school graduates in the last couple of years. You can ask 100 people and you'll get 100 different reactions. So we're going to get 5 different reactions here. Kelly, how did COVID-19 and how it changed school affect you?
Well, never really thought much about it last year until we got put online, and I sort of enjoyed online school, but at the same time I didn't because I was in my house all the time, and I got quarantined 4 times this year too. It was a weird time, waking up every day, not being able to get out of the house and stuff and do much.
It's different when your routine changes. You don't have to get up, brush your teeth, get on a bus and go to school. You walk to your computer screen and that's your school. Sky?
Yeah, when it first started, when they said, oh, we have 2 weeks off, I was really excited, as probably everyone was, that they didn't know what was about to come. Online school at first was good for me because I enjoyed not having to get up so early and go to school. But I guess primarily last year, it made me really unhealthy because I just laid in bed for 12 hours a day. That was bad. But it's been getting better now. It still just kind of sucks that we get quarantined sometimes, but it's to keep everyone safe. But yeah, it's been overall for me.
Dan?
When we first got the announcement that school was closing for 2 weeks, I didn't really care. Again, like what Sky said, I don't think anyone did. And then, we got the call that school was just done, which was really weird because it's our junior year, and all of a sudden it's just over. Especially at the CTC, it was weird because I remember I walked in like it was any other day and just did my thing, and we said, we might see you again. Never did. And then come back senior year, starts off pretty good, and then, we go into online. And online, honestly, I think it helped me more than anything in terms of schooling. In terms of actual me, I hated it. It was a lot of alone time. It was a lot of just thinking. It kind of sucked. But in terms of grades, it was really good. But I definitely was sad during that time. It was a good while of not talking to a lot of people all the time. And I'm just glad that it's about to be over.
I'm sure you all prefer that it happened during your junior year and not your senior year.
I was gonna mention that. It kind of before we got quarantined, my grades were kind of bad. So what the school did was whatever grade you had before you left, that's what you graduated with. So it kind of saved me, but it kind of didn't. I don't know. I think I would have failed maybe in a couple classes if we were to still do school. But yeah.
Alden.
I actually preferred online school, right? Like, I think the end of February, I was kind of on top of the whole COVID situation. I was just like, doing my research, doing whatever. I didn't really think it would reach Michigan though. I was, I remember specifically sitting in the computer lab at Innovation talking to my teacher, and then we got the call that we were shutting down the next day, I think, and then I was just home. I freaked out, cut my hair, and changed up my whole everything. And actually, Miss Cook contacted me in like May or April or something, and she gave me her old record player and stereo set, and that really helped me through everything.
Music therapy.
Yeah, essentially. And, just I had this whole basement to myself, so I was able to just crank music and just freak out for however long I needed, and that really helped work through a lot of issues. But school-wise, it was online school. I was already pretty used to it. I, did Ingenuity, was just like Ingenuity full-time. Ingenuity being an online learning program. And so going fully online wasn't really that big of a shock to me. I'm gonna be honest, I actually like the time alone. I really think everybody should have at least a couple months to just sit in one room and just figure out stuff. I think I wrote some of the best songs of my life in that quarantine. And the air is way fresher when you're trapped inside for a month. So yeah, and I ate healthier, started fasting and everything. I was amazing.
See, now that's interesting because I would think most people probably ate worse.
Nope.
Well, that you did?
No, I ate nothing.
Oh, you ate nothing?
Yeah.
So what? Depression. Who experienced depression on the panel during the last 14, 13, 15 months? So, okay. And it was hard. Was it hard because you weren't able to see people?
Yeah.
Was the phone and your computer, was it a savior for you or
Yeah.
not?
Red hot 24/7.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the problem with me. Like, I just sat.
Why
in
was
bed.
it a problem?
Well, that's all I did was because that's all I could do, I guess. Sat in bed for 24 hours, lost a lot of weight. No motivation to do really anything. That was the biggest thing, was not having any motivation to do anything.
Is it because you weren't with friends and it wasn't
Yeah,
the communal experience?
I run off of a schedule, like going to school, getting home, doing your work, and then, eating, that stuff. That schedule was just completely gone, so my body was just like, didn't have any motivation to do anything.
Well, how about everybody else? Was the motivation not there at least as much
Exactly.
while you were at home?
I'm like, in a certain way, yes. Now I don't know what I meant by that. Basically, yes.
The motivation was there, it just wasn't directed at schoolwork.
Okay.
You
were motivated to do other things.
I got very
Oh, yeah.
politically active and just set my school computer to the side and just researched whatever,
Yeah.
And the motivation was there, at least for me, because I drink a lot of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
So I was definitely motivated, just not for school.
It was something like interacting with people less often. That wasn't really fully me because every Tuesday and Wednesdays when we had days off, I went to my church to help out with food pantry with my grandparents run, and then Sunday I would always help out with camera at church because we were basically one of the only ones that didn't close.
Okay. So we're going to cover the present and the future next with this group. Last minutes. We'll be right back on CCTV. Welcome back to Last Minutes. This is our panel discussion with some of the class of 2021, a couple from Cadillac High School and 3 from Mesick High School, all digital media production students and working on TV shows here at CCTV, but we wanted to kind of get their perspective as students. So I kind of want to change the direction we're going into now, and let's talk about you guys personally. I want to start with Kelly. How are you different now as a graduating 12th grader than you were as a freshman? What's different about you?
Well, I feel that I'm not as lazy when it comes to most things now, because I'm getting ready to go out into the real world, getting prepared for that.
Do most of you find that having graduation staring you right in the face motivates you, or does it worry you?
Yeah.
I was motivated by the money.
Because you're working.
I'll say I'm just a little bit worried, but then I'm more motivated to actually get out into the real world and start doing stuff, figuring out my life,
Okay.
everything.
Abigail, how are you different now than 4 years ago?
Definitely more mature. Cause like around 8th and 9th grade, I was very naive. Then as I grew a little older, I kind of grew more mature about stuff. With like, whether it like excites or worries me about like graduation, I don't really much have a say to that. Cause it's like, I'm not excited, but I'm not nervous about it. It's kind of like in between.
If only every senior could feel that way. Dan, how are you different?
I always used to like to think that I kind of figured myself out, but as you keep going, you realize you haven't figured out anything.
I heard that.
And everybody was always telling me that up to this point, especially family. Like, you'll figure something out about yourself, and I've definitely figured out a lot about myself, even in just the past year, past 2 months even, and it's been kind of crazy. I'm not gonna really go over all of that, but definitely changed a lot, and I feel like after graduation, I'm just gonna change a lot more. So.
Sky?
Yeah, I feel the same way about Abby said. Obviously a lot more mature. When I was younger, I just didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. I always figured that I would never go to college, or because none of my family's ever been to college, so I was just like, screw it. But now I have a plan for my life. I guess for graduation, because I have a plan and because I know what I want to do, it's a lot less scary. I'm still excited, and I know that I'm going to change as a person more after I graduate.
Alden?
I think especially within the last year or so, I've kind of controlled this weird burning rage, passion sort of thing, and I've really focused it forward in pursuing my goals and as a person and as an artist or whatever you want to call whatever I do. I'm, like I said before, I'm trying to just focus on work and being realistic with my goals, because I know that I'm not going to amount to a whole lot compared to some of the other people in this class. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to say that to put myself down. I'm trying to say that as, being as real as I can. What was the question again?
I think you answered it.
Oh, okay, cool.
I think you answered it. Yeah.
Right on.
So, if you could look back, and I'll start with Abby on this one. If you could look back at your 9th grade self and give yourself advice based on what you've learned in that time, what would you say?
That's a good question.
It's a tough question. You want to think about it?
I mean, I guess something.
Okay.
I could definitely answer
Like,
this
be
one.
more productive with work,
Okay. That's good advice.
which I'd also say to future me too.
What
Or for
would-
me in the future.
What would 9th grade Kelly say to 12th grade Kelly?
You mean 12th grade? Is it in 9th grade?
12th grade.
12th grade Kelly say to 9th grade Kelly? That would be a totally different thing.
Well, I'd probably tell myself to work on not being as dumb, because having to take summer school for math 2 years in a row isn't fun.
Okay. Scott.
Probably don't. I mean, I'm still a procrastinator, so I don't think that would fix anything, but I tell them not to be procrastinating so much. Also, my life has never been really stable, so I'd probably tell them that it's gonna be fine by the time you're all around the 12th grade. You're gonna have life figured out, and don't worry so much. Yeah.
Ken?
Probably just like realize that everyone's changing around you is 1. 2, make sure you know that you're not as dumb as you think you are. Because I definitely have a lot of self-doubt, and I would just tell myself to lighten up a bit, because you'll get there. And then, I mean, really just start looking at what you want earlier rather than nothing. Because when I first started high school, I had no idea, and I feel like if I would have started doing what I want to do quicker, like, I don't know, just would have been nicer.
Real quick.
A couple things.
Mhm.
Learn how to use a compressor, you dumb, stupid head.
A
A compressor.
Okay.
Music wise.
If
don't
you're
work,
into music.
Don't work at this certain pizza place that I can't say the name of. They won't pay you. Don't skate in Converse. That's stupid.
One more.
Freaking. Listen to Devo. They're awesome.
Okay. Last question.
All right.
Describe your high school experience in one word, Abby.
Oh.
One word.
Can mine be a swear word?
No.
I think you're gonna have to come back to me on this one.
Kelly.
I'd say funky.
Funky. Sky.
I'd say it's pretty swag.
Swag. Dan.
And that's lame now compared to there's change.
Change. Alden. One word.
Disappointing.
Disappointing. All right.
Like, what's the word of like disappointed and just like kind of boring?
Mediocre.
Well, that,
Mediocre. There you go. Mediocre.
mediocre. Well, that's a depressing way to end the show, but that's how we've got to end it. You got one?
Yeah.
Quickly.
Adventurous.
Adventurous.
Yeah.
So now you know what the class of 21 feels about their class and their high school experience. We hope you enjoyed it. And thanks for watching CCTV Last Minutes.